record. So, Dr. Sarah, please, you may begin. Anyway, this is not full team yet, because maybe some of them will catch up.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Today I thought I'd try something different. Hopefully it's going to work. So I know that you are wanting to make teacher videos for your students. And I hope that's correct. Is that correct? You're wanting to make teacher videos?
Yeah. We want them. So all of you students, teman-teman, jadi nanti in the end kalian bisa membuat video pembelajaran, tapi tidak harus sendiri-sendiri, nanti bisa kelompok, bisa juga individu.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I thought I'd do is I have a PhD student who is now a fully fledged doctor. She was successful in getting her PhD, and her name is Denise Cox. Now, she works with me on a number of different topics, and I asked her to make a practical video to show you on how to make a teacher video. So it's going to take you through step by step on how to make a video and what you need to have in this video so that it really is clear for the students. Now, what I'm going to do is show you, there's 5 different points that she raises. So I'll show you one point and then I'll stop and we can talk about it. Then I'll show you the next point and I'll stop and show you, and then we'll keep going through the video. All right. Now, so write notes to yourself as Denise explains to you. Now, it's very practical, very, very practical video. There's not a lot of theory that sits here, but there's a lot of evidence that Denise has worked with a number of different universities and schools who use teacher-made videos. So they've done a lot of analysis of teacher videos. And I really think you will like this. I really, really think you'll get a lot out of this. Now, let's just fingers crossed that this is going to work. So I'm going to start playing the video, and then if it doesn't, I've got to go on to another computer. So fingers crossed. All right, fingers crossed, everyone.
Yeah, everyone fingers crossed. as they know what the fingers crossed mean. But hopefully they know what this finger crossed mean.
All right, ready? Here she is.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Selamat sore, Maths teachers of Indonesia. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise.
Dr. Sarah, everyone hear the voice? I don't think it's not audible.
Say that again.
I think that the video is mute or something because I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear anything?
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything. Okay.
Oh, at the very first, some words, yes. Afterwards, it's silent.
Okay, let me try again. Wave at me. Hang on. Wave at me if it doesn't work. Okay?
Okay.
Try it again.
Okay.
All right.
Selamat sore, Maths teachers of Indonesia. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise Cox, and I'm delighted to be here talking with you today about how to make video content that students will happily watch and benefit from. Dr. Sarah Prestridge has asked me to make this video for you because I'm an online education expert with both a master's degree and a doctorate in how to teach online. And I work with Sarah on a variety of research projects at Griffith University. As a little bit of background, I first started teaching online myself when I lived in Indonesia in 2013 and 2014. I was teaching management studies there. Today, though, I live in Brisbane and I help educators from all sectors in their transition to online and blended teaching. So in this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 key guidelines that will get students watching your videos, engaging with that content, and happily clicking on the next video and the next video and the one after that. Importantly, these guidelines, they are driven by solid research. Some time ago, a large institution asked me to look into why their students weren't clicking on the videos all those teachers had made. So I spent time in the back of the learning management system and I collected data about which videos were getting opened and which weren't, and then how long students were watching each of those videos before turning them off. So I analysed all that data and I went looking for patterns, which I know may sound a little bit boring to you, but for somebody like me, that's actually quite interesting. So then once I had a fair idea about what was happening and the differences between videos that students loved and videos students hated and the ones they did watch and the ones they didn't watch, I interviewed students to confirm their thought process when they were watching or turning off different videos. So then I took all that rich information and I built really practical guidelines around developing videos that students will actually watch. Those guidelines have now been implemented in a range of schools and institutions, and at every site, it has resulted in a huge upswing in students not only watching those teacher-made videos, but watching them all the way to the end. So it's those guidelines that I'll be sharing with you today. The first guideline is actually very, very simple. It's your video duration. So that is how long each video will go for. The first point here is you have to list the video duration or how long the video goes for. You have to list that in the title of the video. Students are statistically significantly more likely to click play if they know how long the video will go for. I have sat 2 videos side by side that are actually exactly the same. One had the duration, one didn't. This one never ever got clicked on, this one did. The second key point about duration is that most of the time, so 99% of the time, your videos need to be less than 10 minutes long. And I know your first reaction might be that you can't actually say a lot in 10 minutes, but you'll see this is actually incredibly important. Now, the obvious reason for keeping videos short is attention span. You don't want students getting bored and distracted, but that's actually not the core reason why we keep our videos short. We need to remember that video content is not trying to replicate a face-to-face class. We're not simply recording what we would say in class or what we would have said in class. The benefit of creating content videos and the reason students love it when you do make videos is because you can leverage the benefits that video content has over classroom lessons. So here's the first important idea. One video equals one concept. Now we call this chunking. So chunking our content into a single concept, that's one way we keep our videos really short. And don't worry, I will spend some time shortly on how to go about doing that. The other thing about keeping your videos short is that it means that your students have time to take on board one concept at a time. So they can really take in that idea, think about it, assimilate that knowledge with what they already know. And then they click the next video when they feel ready. Also, busy students are much more likely to find the time to watch a 10-minute video. But if they see a 40-minute video, they're just going to put it off and off and off because they'll never get around to it. They think that 40 minutes is much too long. Now, this is really interesting because I've monitored students watching videos. So students who have been sat and seen a 40-minute video on the screen, they won't watch it because they think it's way too long. And they don't believe that you can possibly stay interesting for 40 minutes. So they won't watch the video. The exact same content broken down into 5-minute videos, students will watch it because they think, well, 5 minutes to test. I'll see what this teacher is like making videos. So they will invest 5 minutes. And then because you've done such a good job of that 5 minutes, they'll think, gosh, that was good value. I'll just click the next one. And so when I've observed students in this way, they've happily watched an hour, maybe an hour and a half worth of short videos. But they would never, ever have watched that one 40-minute video. So that chunking is one way of getting students to commit their time because they're not committing a lot. And then they build trust with you that your videos are worth watching. And so they keep clicking. Another critical benefit of chunking is that your students can revisit that one core concept without having to scroll all the way back and forth of a big video trying to find that particular thing that they're looking for. So you actually really do want them to feel like they can come back and revisit key ideas. And so that's what these short videos do. They have this perception of, that was interesting, and I know where to find that exact piece of information if I need it. From a practical perspective, a short video means smaller file size, and that's important for students who don't have consistent internet. You know what it's like yourself. It can be really frustrating when you're trying to watch a long video and your internet cuts out or goes slow or lags. And so if students lose their place, they lose focus. So they don't just get frustrated with that video, they get frustrated with all videos. Whereas if that little lag thing happens in a short 5-minute video, they don't react quite so badly. And it's a quite interesting thing. I've done a lot of research in talking with students and observing their behavior in this space. And it's really interesting. Their frustration level of a short video going wrong is quite minimal, whereas a long video, they get incredibly frustrated. And the final benefit to making short videos is for you. It's your workload. Because think about it. You're also more likely to find time to make a 5-minute video than you are to find time to make a really big video. And when you're making a short video, it's more efficient because you're more likely to just stand up in front of the camera and do it in a single take. So the shorter video, the less likely there's going to be outside noise, the less likely you're going to mix up your words and have to start again. So short videos, they're simply easier. They're easier for you to plan, to script, to prepare. And because they're easier for you, they tend to get made, which is good because short videos are what students want. So why don't you pause this video for a moment now and make a few notes about why short videos are important. Here's a little summary and click play again when you're ready to move to guideline 2.
What do you think?
Okay, guys. So what do you think?
What are some of the things that, what are some of the things, put it in the chat or you can come on and chat with me that you got out of that. Does that apply to you?
Oke, jadi teman-teman silakan memberikan tanggapan melalui chat box. Apa yang kalian dapat, terus bagaimana menurut kalian dengan tadi itu. Jadi kita punya 2 poin. Pertama adalah poin yang pertama kita adalah duration. Yang di sini adalah yang dari duration itu ada 2 hal, yaitu duration listed in description. Habis itu one video for one concept. Dengan tadi catatan itu. So what do you think, guys? Anyone? Ada yang punya ide? Silakan ketik di chat atau silakan mungkin mau ngomong langsung juga boleh. Pakai bahasa Indonesia boleh, is okay. Nanti saya bantu translate. Teman-teman? Amelia, Erina, mungkin? Salis? Well, while waiting for them, Dr. Sarah, I have a question. So, since durations in here is at the first point, duration listed in descriptions. So it means that, let's say, psychologically speaking, we want to tell them how long should they spend their time for the video. Is it correct? So the audience can prepare themselves how long should they how much time should they spend to watch the video so they can make the schedule for the next meeting. What do you think? Is it correct?
That's correct, but the more information you can give someone, the more control and choice they have. So if you give them the duration, they can choose when it's going to be appropriate to watch that video, when they'll have enough time to set aside for that video. You know, there's a lot of choices people make because of how long that video will be.
Yes.
So it's actually really important to give the students choices. So if you can split the video, like chunk it, as Denise said, into 5 videos, the student would think, I'll watch the first 2 and take notes, and then I'll watch the next 2 after dinner or, tomorrow and take notes, and then I'll watch the last one. And then I might go back to number 2 video to help me because I can't remember. But because it's chunked for the student, they can move between the videos a lot easier than having one really long video where they have to work out where you said that bit that was really important. So it's basically to alleviate heavy cognitive load on access. So instead of the cognitive load being on just accessing the content, you're putting the cognitive load on the content. So the student has the time to think and uses the video structure to support their cognition, to support their thinking, instead of spending time just going through the video, which is taking up their time and their mental power. So you're trying to organize learning for them so it's easier.
Okay.
And they
so
can
at
focus
first,
on the content.
I think I need to explain to the students about what is cognitive load, because well, I think it's quite strange. Okay. So teman-teman, jadi cognitive load itu adalah sebuah beban di mana kemampuan kognitif kita itu diberikan beban berlebih. Teori cognitive load ini memang sangat terkenal di Australia, terutama ada di beberapa universitas, yaitu banyak yang mengkaji terkait dengan cognitive load. Nah, cognitive load dalam belajar itu adalah ketika kalian diberikan beban yang beban yang diberikan secara berulang-ulang, dan akhirnya mereka memiliki beban berlebih gitu, tanpa memberikan senggang waktu yang cukup luas untuk mereka beristirahat untuk rilis loadnya jadi. Jadi ketika contohnya kalian habis belajar kalkulus, habis itu belajar aljabar, habis itu geometri, kan itu kalau nggak ada istirahat terjadi cognitive load. Nah kayak gitu istilahnya. Jadi kalau kenapa video itu harus dibagi-bagi? Ya karena, kenapa harus ada duration? Karena intinya adalah duration itu membantu kita teman-teman, membantu siswa terutama untuk membuat schedule atau plan kapan mereka akan memutar video tersebut. Jadi kalau misalnya ada 4, berarti kapan video keempat, 2, 3, 1 itu ketika semuanya ada durasinya, mereka sudah bisa membuat schedule-nya. Jadi semakin lengkap informasi termasuk durations in the video, so the more complete, it will make the student easier to make the schedule for them to to watch the video. Gitu. Jadi itu intinya. Dr. Sarah.
And I also think it makes it easier for them if they've got low bandwidth.
Yeah.
If they haven't got
Low
great
bandwidth,
you want a smaller video.
This is an issue for students because this is basically okay. Jadi low bandwidth ya teman-teman. Jadi kalian tidak akan terlalu banyak pulsa untuk dihabiskan ketika tahu durasinya berapa. Gitu. Oke, Dr. Sarah.
Yeah, and we have that same issue in our rural and remote areas.
Oh, okay.
Where our students have very low bandwidth. So teachers need to be very aware of how they're designing material because it's hard for students to access. So that's really important. Any questions from the students? If
Ada
you
pertanyaan?
Answer a question, let's say.
Oke, teman-teman ada pertanyaan? Ya, silakan kalau ada pertanyaan.
How long? How long should a video be to teach a concept?
Oke, silahkan dijawab. Okay, please answer anytime. And while waiting for them, the last point by Dennis of one video, one concept is easier to plan plus make them smile. All right. So, what do you mean by what is it mean by easier to plan? Is it like for the teacher? Make the teacher become easier to plan the material to be posted or what?
Okay, so easier to plan and make. When I make videos, like I might make a video for the conference on Saturday. That goes for 30 minutes. So I have to plan for a 30-minute video. That's a long time to plan. That's quite a long time to speak for 30 minutes. And I also have to make it. So when I press record and I'm halfway through the video and I make a mistake, I go, oh God.
I did it many times.
I've made one video, it took me 18 takes.
Oh, really?
18.
Okay.
It's, and you think, why am I making it so long? Because I keep making a mistake because I get tired or someone comes and knocks on my door.
True.
And you think,
true. Really true. Anything disrupt you.
So you can't do it. You just can't. You have for learning, chunking is better. For revision, chunking is better. And for us to make it, smaller chunking is better.
Okay.
Okay.
At least we can focus on the material that we want to teach.
Yeah. So one little concept, 5 minutes. So
okay,
how long would the students make? How long would their videos be?
Oke, teman-teman, menurut kalian berapa lama setidaknya sebuah video itu ideal untuk ditonton oleh siswa kalian besok? Silakan dicatat, dijawab di kolom chat. Ika Indah, monggo. Fania, Adistiana, Arista, Adinda, Felix, Dimo, bocah Dimo, jenenge Felix mau ya. Felix, bantung gue, ayo. Salis, oke. Oke, Arina, oke. Ika Indah, Novelia, Rewandari. Oke. Oh, oke. one answer 20 minutes, yeah. Or even an hour.
Okay, so we all get the idea that it has to be small.
Okay.
It has to be small. 5 to 10 minutes, no bigger. Okay. It makes it easier for the student and it makes it easier for the teacher. And now you know, and this is the only other question I'm going to ask before I go on to the next one. Why does it need to be small? Well, why does it need to be 5 to 10 minutes? Why?
Okay, Dr. Sarah, do you think that students' age influence for the duration? I mean, we can take the consideration of student age to decide how long should it be for the video.
Say that again. I didn't understand you.
Okay, do you think that student age becomes a consideration for teachers to decide how long the video will be?
Yep, I think so. I think age has a lot to do with it. But even my age, and like I'm not, I'm, you know, relatively old.
Okay.
I 5 to 10 minutes, because unless you hook me in 5 to 10 minutes, I'd watch a second video if it was good, if the first one was good. So that's because we're so used to social media, TikTok, you know, Snapchat. Kids are used to short, sharp videos. They're not going to sit and listen and really be able to take all that information in. So so why do we make them? Yeah, that's great. It would be more compact and students can repeat it more than once without hesitating. They'd spend, yeah, absolutely agree.
Okay, for the first comment, this is because when the concept is explained, it needs more times, relatively long, so it takes 5 to 10 minutes for in the Suryati's answer.
Yep. So if the first one has to be longer, you could always say, okay, part A, part B, but don't make it longer than 10. You just
that's the same like TV series, yeah.
That's it. You just no longer, because otherwise, you know, you're going to say, oh, okay, I'll make it 12, I'll make it 15, I'll make it 20. You know, we're trying to get the students to engage with it. It's better to cut it in half or to show a short example and then to elaborate the next one, because they'll come back. That's the idea, is you want them to come back to where they need clarification. Yeah. Okay. Should I play more of the video now? We'll do number 2.
Gimana teman-teman, lanjut ya. Okay, please proceed. Okay.
Yep. Okay, let's do the next one. Guideline number 2.
Okay, here we are, guideline 2. So in that first guideline, you saw how important chunking content is to keep our video duration down, to keep our videos really short. Another benefit of chunking is that your videos are really consistent. And so what happens is it's easier for you to plan and write, but a consistent format of your videos, so for each one in the series of them, that consistency builds trust with students. They know what to expect from a set of videos that is made by you. And so they're more likely to click play because they trust what's coming. So how exactly do we chunk? It's all very well and good to say make a 10-minute video, but how do we cut our content up into those smaller parts? Well, this is really important, and it came out of the research that there are 4 key parts to designing any teacher-made video. So the first thing we do is we say why this thing we're sharing matters. Why is this needed? Why is this information or formula or idea, or why am I telling you this thing? Then we get to the how of things, so the detail of it. And then in part 3, we share common mistakes, pitfalls, and things that go wrong. And in part 4, we give them any extra relevant information they might need. Now, sometimes those 4 parts, they can all fit into one 10-minute video. But more often, each of these things is a separate video. I'm going to walk you through an example so you can see why. So let's say we want to demonstrate a math formula, or maybe we want to demonstrate the way of calculating something. So let's follow this formula along. First, we want to explain why this math formula or why this math technique, why does it matter? Why, from a student's perspective, do they need to know how to do this? And it's really important here that your wording is all about the student perspective. It's not because I want you to learn it, it's because this is good for you, that you're appealing to their self-interest. So how does this matter to them and their learning needs? How's it relevant? And how does it fit together with your overall curriculum journey? So how does this thing I'm teaching you now fit with what I taught you last week and what you're going to learn next week? This why part, this is a really important opportunity for you to add a little bit of colour. So for some things, you'll tell a funny story, maybe a funny story about the way you misunderstood the formula when you first learned it. Maybe there's an anecdote about applying this formula in a really interesting context. So telling stories along with the why this matters, that's what happens in our first section, which is often a video all by itself. Next, we shift to the actual demonstration, the detail of the formula or the technique, whatever it is we're sharing. So you can see why for many topics, this demonstration step, that's probably often 10 minutes by itself. And now the benefit of having the demonstration in its own video is that when students want to revisit the demonstration, they don't have to re-sit through the why this matters. They already know why it matters. They'll probably never watch that video ever again. They've watched it once, they got the message. They want to jump straight to this second video and re-watch the demonstration when they need to refresh their memory. And so why that first video might only be 1, 2, 3 minutes long, there's a reason we keep it separate. Now, during this second part, the demonstration, don't forget to reason aloud. So what I mean by that is to narrate the kinds of things you're observing or thinking or looking for in between each step. Now, the third part of this formula is the common mistakes and the pitfalls. Now, sometimes the common things that can go wrong will fit into the second video, the demonstration one. It depends on the topic, whether this will stand by itself or not. But it's really important that you do somewhere cover how to avoid common errors and what to do if they happen. So this is an opportunity for you to demonstrate that it's not a disaster if something goes wrong and how to fix it up. And you also show that, look, it's okay to make a mistake. Look, I did that one thing. I put the decimal point in the wrong place. I know we're looking for a whole number and I've not come out with a whole number, so therefore I've got to go back 3 steps. So demonstrating that mistakes are okay, they're not something to panic about, that everybody makes them, but demonstrating the common mistakes, what to look for, how to avoid it, how to fix it up, it's really important. Now think about it. If the common mistakes are sitting in their own standalone video, when the students are doing the practice exercises that you might set them and they make a mistake, they can just come straight back to common mistakes. See, they don't have to sit through the why, they don't have to sit through the demo, they just jump to common mistakes. So you can see why sometimes these videos are quite short, but why splitting them up is really helpful for students. Now the final element is what we call the extra details. So maybe you've taught them a math formula here. Maybe down here, you show them that math formula being applied in 3 different contexts or for 3 different purposes, or maybe you want to throw in an advanced application of this technique for students who want to know more. With mathematics teachers, sometimes that demonstration might be done with a manual calculator and a pen. The extras video is replicating in an Excel with a computerized formula. That type of thing. Maybe your computerized formula is the norm, but you want to show them how to do it manually down here. So these extra videos, you can see again why we keep them separate. And often there's quite a lot of these. So it's really interesting to then say, here's that formula in different contexts, here's different things. So first video, why it matters. The second video, the actual how of things. The third video, typical mistakes and not to worry, this is how to fix it. And the fourth video, all those extras. So by breaking down a concept into short videos, students can revisit that specific bit they need as they need it, and they're more likely to then do so. The other thing is, don't forget, they're digesting this information before they move to the next bit. So they're making sure that they've got the hang of what you said before they move to the next thing. And for you, the educator, it's much easier to create short videos than it is to create one really, really long one. So it works for everyone. Now let's think about these add-on videos. It's really easy to just keep making little ones. So if you've made one great big video, it's quite hard to make a change in the middle. Whereas if you've made small videos, it's easy to add another one, or replace one. So as you think of, oh, here's a different context, you know, there's a 3-minute video. Quick for you, easy for them, you've added it to your library. Let's think a little more about these extra videos. They're incredibly important. So when we're teaching hard or linear concepts, such as those found in mathematics, there's a lot of underlying knowledge. We're assuming they remember some of those mathematical foundations that we're now bringing forward into this new idea or this new technique or formula. And so this is where those extra videos are absolutely critical. You can build a library of 2-minute videos that are quick reminder concepts. So you might have a 2-minute video about the sine rule, a 2-minute video about cos, another one about tan, maybe a quick algebra refresher, a quick refresher about working with prime numbers. You could have a quick video about the difference between mean, median, mode. Doesn't matter what's in these little reminder concepts, but can you see the power of gradually building a library of reminder concepts, and you just grab the relevant ones. So you've made a video to demonstrate a particular formula or technique or concept. You simply pull across those 6, 7, 8, 10 little reminder concept videos that help them remember those foundation concepts. And all of that can go in a joint library. So think about it. Work with other teachers in your network, and as everybody makes a little 2-minute reminder concept, pop it in a joint library, and everyone can draw from that. So by making shorter videos at each of these steps, the why, the how, the mistakes made, and the extras, you can reuse some of these parts in other contexts for other purposes. So better for you, better for your workload, better for the students and their learning as well. Let's quickly imagine a different scenario.
Okay. There's a lot in there, so I had to stop her.
Okay.
So what did you get out of that? How to break down the video into a why, how, pitfalls, and extra. Does that relate to the way that you teach, the way that you think about making the videos? Were there any interesting ideas there? You don't have to take all this on. These are just ideas presented to you.
Oke, jadi teman-teman dari video tadi itu kira-kira kalian mendapatkan ini nggak? Mendapatkan apa namanya? Kan tadi ada apa namanya demonstration ya. Salah satunya adalah pada demonstration. Di demonstration itu teman-teman itu harus menjelaskan secara tidak filosofinya kenapa harus ada demonstration ya Kak.
I think they prefer chatting. What was the most important for you? Why? How? Pitfalls? Extras. Did anyone like any of these?
Hello, I'm sorry, I'm out. My connection.
Okay.
Jadi teman-teman tadi, may I continue?
Yeah.
Oke, so teman-teman, jadi gini, apa namanya? Tadi kan kita bahas kayak dengan demonstration ya. Demonstration itu kenapa kalian harus ada demonstration? Karena setidaknya siswa itu juga harus memiliki pengalaman yang sama terhadap diri kalian ketika di video tersebut. Makanya demonstration is important. So student have the same experience with you. Gitu, salah satunya itu. Jadi, nah bagaimana cara demonstrasinya ya 1, 2, 3. Jadi jelaskan demonstrasinya. I know. Jadi teman-teman bisa menjelaskan di situ bagaimana sih cara mengerjakan cara memvisualisasikan materi topik aljabar linear misalnya dengan menggunakan GeoGebra, gitu ya, dengan menggunakan GeoGebra. Nah itu dijelaskan step-stepnya bagaimana, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 itu dijelaskan. Nah ada pitfalls. Your video, so this is interesting for me, Dr. Sarah. So. When she explained about pitfalls, so I believe that we don't need to be a king with perfect video. It is okay for us to make mistakes during the video as long as it's not vital. But well, is this okay to make video? Is it okay to make a mistake during the video so student can notice, oh, that's mistake, and I believe that people tend to remember the information based on the mistake they made.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think mistakes are really important. And being human. And we discussed that last week. You have to be human and go, okay. And that's why when you talk about the why you're looking at this concept, it's good to talk about your own experience of learning the concept and the mistakes you made. But the idea of pitfalls is really about common mistakes students make when applying or using those mathematical concepts. So you're going a bit deeper into an understanding of that concept.
Yeah, I made some videos relating to how analyze data using Excel. And well, I make it very clear and details. However, I found my students that they make mistakes many times. So I believe that I just realized that maybe it's okay if I made mistake, because once I made a mistakes, I mean in inputting data, or I mean in making the formula to analyze the data, I think it is okay for me to make mistake, just to make them notice that these things or these steps is mostly student made mistakes in these steps. So I just realized when Dennis says that.
Yeah, sharing the mistakes and illustrating the mistakes is one idea. You know, the common mistakes that people make, definitely, because we're learners, and making a mistake is part of learning. And I think to build a concept deeply, you have to, you know, not just show it, because that's not going to, there needs to be more exemplars of it. Like the why is very important, how this relates to the bigger ideas that you're teaching, the reason that you're learning it, what it means in real life. And then how to do it's the easy one. The pitfalls and the extra material, they all contribute to a deeper understanding of that concept.
Oke, jadi teman-teman itu tadi, jadi intinya salah satunya juga yang ketiga adalah pitfalls. Jadi it's okay kalian bikin mistake, tapi mistake yang istilahnya common mistakes. Yang common mistake that mostly student do that. So it can make the student bisa membuat siswa itu notice, oh itu loh yang biasanya siswa itu salah ketika ujian. Oh itu loh kesalahannya perhitungan yang seringkali salah. Jadi ketika mungkin kalian tidak membuat mistake ya, tapi kalian noticekan ke mereka. Apa tuh bahasa Indonesia notice kan? Jadi kalian tunjukkan ke mereka, ini loh bagian ini itu yang sering jadi masalah gitu oleh siswa. Nah yang terakhir adalah extras. Extras in here is bringing different context, materials, equipment. So it means that we can bring our material, our topic to different contexts. For instance, like what Dennis says, yeah, like we use calculator in this context, but we may use it in Excel or maybe in other applications, math applications. Am I correct?
You're talking.
Oh yeah, just sorry, I asked you. Am I correct? It means that.
All right.
Okay, am I correct, Dr. Sarah? It means that by saying exercise. So if the material is about on how we learn math by calculator, so we can bring it to the context of other apps, for instance, like Excel or maybe another apps or something.
Oh, absolutely. That's the whole idea of mathematics, isn't it?
Yeah. Oke, jadi teman-teman itu intinya bahwa ekstras di situ adalah kalian bisa membawa konteksnya itu membawa topik ini ke konteks lain gitu. Jadi intinya mungkin tema kita hari ini adalah belajar matematika menggunakan kalkulator misalnya kayak gitu. Kan banyak tuh sekarang banyak tuh pelatihan-pelatihan juga tuh atau di kelas-kelas juga banyak tuh. Nah, karena itu maka kita juga bisa membawa konteks lain misalnya ke arah misalnya menggunakan Microsoft Excel. Ini juga ada loh yang kayak gini, ada kayak gini juga gitu. Jadinya insight atau wawasan siswa itu bisa sangat luas terkait dengan topik yang diajarkan oleh kalian gitu. Oke, paham teman-teman? Jempol. Oke, good. Oke, Dr. Sarah, please.
Right. So building a library. Had you thought of building a library of this material?
Oh, not yet.
Okay, yeah, because that idea that students can go back at any time and you are building examples that you can keep adding to is a good idea if you're making teacher videos.
Okay, Dr. Sarah, your voice is getting lower.
Oh, my voice is getting lower.
So is it about the microphone or what?
How about that? Can you hear me now?
Teman-teman terdengar semuanya? Suaranya Dr. Sarah?
I haven't done anything. So it's
terdengar Erina?
No,
Audible?
it's saying to me I'm fine.
Adinda? Oh, okay. This is getting lower.
Pelan banget.
Pelan banget ya, pelan ya. Okay, low.
Yeah, am I getting low though? Because it's
not louder. I mean, the volume is getting lower. So maybe okay. So
I think it's
getting
higher now.
Okay. Okay, please proceed.
Okay, so I'll keep playing the video, and we'll stop it in a little while.
Okay.
Okay.
Exactly the same formula, but this time we're actually giving our students advice about how to do their assignment. We follow the same rule. We tell them why, how, pitfalls, then extras. This is a great example because students love teacher videos with extra information about the assignment. So we start with the purpose of the assignment. Why is it this time? Why this expectation? How doing this will help them. The how component of this video is your recommended 1, 2, 3 approach. How do you think they should approach the assignment? Break the expectations down. Provide explicit advice about how to go about it, in what order, and where to focus the most amount of attention. Then get into those common mistakes and pitfalls. Now, for this, those 3 elements may all well sit in one 10-minute video together. You may not have to break them up into pieces, but these extra parts, maybe that's where you bring in some of those little extras videos, those supplementary videos that remind them of key foundation concepts, little how-to examples, those types of things. So following this 4-part plan for your video content makes it easier for you as the designer to find the logical cutoff point to work out, is this all in one video? Is this in another video? And that consistent formula is helpful for you as a planner, but your students will learn your flow very quickly. So in summary, chunking matters. The key to chunking is your planning. So try laying out your planning sheet like this. Put that flow down the left-hand side, and then draw a column where you do a few quick dot points about the planned message in each of those parts. And then the second column, that's where you'll think about how you're going to deliver that message. So is this a selfie video? Is it going to be a PowerPoint slide? Will you get someone to film you while you're standing at the board? Will you go to the city or the beach and say something interesting from an interesting location? So the key with the second column is planning the location of your face and your voice and what exactly students will see. And the final column is so you can decide how to chop this up. How many videos does it make sense to make to cover those key dot points? We never decide the number of videos until we've planned the messaging and the delivery columns, because it's amazing how quickly that messaging column starts filling up, and you soon realize that your why has become a video all by itself. Most educators I work with, and I do this myself, tend to do a quick handwritten scribble of this planning sheet, just a really high-level idea about what we're about to do. Once you've got that broad outline, then sit at the computer and get into the detail of it. Start focusing on those key points in your script. I highly recommend that you do not start typing up PowerPoint slides until you've worked out your messaging, because when you do sit in front of PowerPoint, it's a bit too easy to get distracted. You sort of get really excited about the formatting, or maybe you just keep making slide after slide after slide and you forget your messaging plan. So always do your messaging plan before sitting at the computer. Now, this next point is absolutely critical.
I just wanted to stop there. Are you planning your videos before you make them?
Oke, teman-teman, apakah kalian membuat rencana sebelum kalian membuat video? Say yes, say no. Silakan catat. Catat lagi apa? Dijawab.
You're going to use PowerPoint mainly?
Pakai PowerPoint? Atau pakai yang lain? Mainly. Teman-teman pakai PowerPoint?
You usually use PowerPoint. You can use a board. You don't have to use PowerPoint. You could use a board if you wanted to. I've seen great work on boards where the teacher just builds just one board and just videos themselves writing on a board. So you don't have to use PowerPoint.
Jadi teman-teman nggak harus pakai PowerPoint, kalian boleh pakai papan tulis. Ya, tapi yo terisi isi papan tulis. So you may use board, but just clean it up before, so it can your student can see that your whiteboard is clean enough before you start the video. So you will see, oh, that's beautiful. Such as that. Okay, please.
You can get very creative. Oh, PowerPoint is more creative. I think sometimes students get sick of PowerPoints because they see so many PowerPoints.
Yeah.
I've seen one teacher who just draws a picture. And then beside it, they do something, you know, that applies the why. When Denise was talking about before, you could just draw a picture or have a picture up, you know. So trying to make it a little bit different helps students remember things as well. But the why you're doing the video and looking at the concept is really key. So following that sequence of why, the actual how to do the whatever problem it is, the pitfalls, and then the extra is really a nice sequence to use to structure your video. Has students been given a structure to help them plan the video?
Teman-teman sudah diajari apa namanya sama Pak Toyib terkait bagaimana cara membuat video PowerPoint? Erina, sudah belum?
Belum Pak kalau PowerPoint.
I'm sorry, maksud saya video. Membuat video pembelajaran.
Kalau video pembelajaran sepertinya belum dijelaskan secara detail, lebih ke bagaimana cara memasukkan materi kemudian riset seperti itu, Pak.
Okay. So, well, the students they're not yet being taught about how to plan the video actually, but they got it from you. Well, actually, the lecturers already taught them, but not really that details. So they got the details from this meeting. Great.
Great. That's good. But okay, so had they considered the why before, or were they just going to go straight into the how to do the problem?
Kalian ketika membuat video, kalian membuat filosofinya dulu nggak? Maksudnya kenapa kalian harus membuat video tersebut? Diajarkan nggak? Atau maksudnya gini, kalian ketika membuat video apapun, video dalam konteks ini video pembelajaran. Ketika kalian nanti membuat video pembelajaran atau kemarin sudah atau selama perkuliahan, kalian consider nggak terkait dengan alasan besar terkait membuat video pembelajaran tersebut?
I find when we're online with students, the why becomes really important because it's a part of what we just tend to do in the classroom naturally, but we forget it when we make these materials for online. We just assume that they need to learn it, so they need to understand it. But the why you have to be more clear about when you're working online, because it's something that helps them understand the reason why they have to learn that idea. So that has to come first.
Jadi teman-teman, why itu sangat penting dalam membuat teman-teman membuat video, karena dengan kita mengetahui kenapa alasan kita membuat video online, itu akan memberikan kita gambaran luas terkait dengan tujuan. Kita tahu kenapa, kita tahu tujuannya. Kenapa kalian makan? Ya karena kalian lapar. Gitu. So please proceed.
Okay. And when you do assessment, the reason why, if you wanted to explain an assessment video, again, that formula is really good. Why, how to do the assessment, the pitfalls with assessment, and some extra support material. That's a really nice step-by-step way to make videos about the assessment students need to do. Okay.
Oh, Dr. Sarah, based on your experience, how do you assess online learning?
How did you assess
online learning? How did
Well,
you assess the students in online learning?
yeah, well, the easiest way is a quiz that you can do that. You know, after a video, the most obvious, the most obvious one that most online courses use are quizzes that you.
Quizzes, okay.
Yeah, quiz. Yeah, a little quiz.
Like an app?
No, like a little question, A, B, C, or D.
Okay.
A little test. Yeah. That's the most easiest way, especially mathematically. You know, the other more complex ways are when students email material back to the teacher that they've had to complete. So like in a maths assessment item, they'd email that back.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll keep going.
Absolutely, you cannot miss this part. Make sure that you frame up for the students exactly where this concept or idea that you're sharing fits within the broader class or topic. You must be explicit about where, why, and how everything fits together. Also, don't forget to prompt action. What exactly do you want them to do with this piece of the puzzle? What do you want them to do to transform this information into action? You want to transform information into learned knowledge. So the benefit of making multiple short videos is you can say, now go do the practice exercises and then come back and watch video 3. Or you can tell them, go write that reflection, go investigate this, explore for that, and then come back and watch the next video. So you're wanting to include actions to transform information into knowledge. So why don't you pause this video for just a moment so that you can write some reminder notes about chunking. Perhaps, hopefully, you've had some ideas about that library of reminder concepts. So what concepts would your students rewatch if they could? And who else in your teacher network could you work with to make a library of reminder concepts together?
Well, I won't jump in for too long. I'll keep playing the video. But the one thing Denise did say that was important there was the fact that if you do have video, it's good to have something in between, like first video, second video, practice activity, next video, you know, so it's not just 4 videos in a row. They have to go and do something. So it might be video activity, and they come back. So it's good to sequence the videos with other things that they have to do. All right. Yep. Can I keep going or do you want to explain?
Okay, I want to explain that. Okay, jadi teman-teman, jadi kalau misalnya kalian bikin video yang banyak dan situ sudah berurutan gitu, jadi jangan kalau misalnya kalian punya 5 video, maka di sela-sela video tersebut kalian bisa membuat sebuah may I say ice breaking?
Yeah.
It means that ice breaking means like an exercise or any activities. Ya, kalian bisa membuat sebuah ice breaking dalam bentuk, jadi nggak semuanya video, habis itu kalian bisa buat sebuah aktivitas, misalnya apa yang kira-kira bisa apa namanya, bisa membuat refresh atau apapun itu. Jadi tidak membuat, tadi intinya adalah bukan sebagai sebuah cognitive load, jadi juga sebagai bisa memberikan refreshment buat para siswa gitu ketika nonton. Jadi mereka nggak nonton muka kalian yang besengut, ngejarin gitu, jangan. Gitu. Jadi ojo juk kabeh materi, pisan-pisan joget, ngono kan yo oleh, ngono. Dadi ya rada santai. Gitu. Jadi video-video ice breaking, video ice breaking gitu kalau misalnya kalian mau bikin. Okay, please, Dr. Sarah.
I'm just putting something in the chat.
Okay.
So it might go video task, and quiz, like as a sequence. Okay.
Let's move now to guideline 3 for making video content that students will actually watch. And this one is all about you. Regardless of why you're making a video for your students, regardless of what the purpose of that video is, your authentic presence, that's what gets students watching it all the way through and happily clicking the next video and the next video and the next video. And so by authentic presence, I mean you and your smiling face. It's so easy in the video world to hide behind PowerPoint slides. But getting students to be able to see your facial expressions and hear your voice and see your excitement and your body language, that's really important. It actually makes what you're saying more believable, and students are more willing to follow your instructions if your face is visible in at least some of the video. So it's really important that you present yourself in a way that's very authentic, but that truly represents you and your teaching style and your teaching personality. And teacher-made videos, they're not just about instructional content. Short videos are a wonderful opportunity to motivate your students. Get them excited about the next piece of learning that's coming. Inject some energy into boring topics. Express that you're here for them to nurture, to guide and care for your students. So being conversational in your videos, it's one of the best things you can do. So think about saying things like, you're going to love this next bit. Okay, now the next part's a bit tricky, but don't worry, I've got the perfect solution. I know this part looks a little bit boring, but you know what? It's actually really important, and I'll tell you why. Can you see how those really conversational phrases take a video from being arm's length instruction to students feeling like you are just having a conversation with them, that you are talking to them? And so students react quite powerfully when they feel that sense of a conversation and that you're being yourself as well. So acknowledging their perspective, their learning experience, understanding what they're going through and what's hard and what they might be feeling. Students respond really, really positively to that. The other thing about your authentic presence is how much should you script your video before pressing record? And it's actually a really, really common question. Should you just read out a script or make things up as you go? Well, here's a little tip. You're not a newsreader, you're an educator. And so the problem with typing out a word for word script is that you'll sound like you're just reading things out, and also they'll be able to see you looking left to right as you read out the script. You're not just being yourself, you're not being conversational. So I strongly recommend that you do clearly plan out some thoughtful speaking points so that you stay on track. You don't want to get all talkative and off topic. Don't necessarily script things word for word. So these are the key points from the third guideline. Don't forget to be visible. Let them see your face. Videos don't have to be instructional content. They can be motivating, encouraging, guiding. Don't forget to be conversational, and you are not a newsreader. So why don't you pause for a moment?
What do you think about those points?
Oh, well, guess what? This is very interesting, and what Denise says. Well, most students in here, mostly when they have to answer or when they have to present information, they tend to read the script on the PowerPoint, and it is still a homework for me as a teacher to teach them how to transfer the knowledge without reading rigidly about the script. That's still a republic, but then it's not. I think it is not a natural things that come out from them. It can be practiced. So that's why I believe that as a teacher, we have to learn about how to do a conversation by transferring our knowledge not biased on the script we write on the PowerPoint. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, the more script or instructional you are, the harder it is to listen to for a long time. The more conversational you are, and when you have a chat and you're human and you laugh and you smile and you make a mistake and you say, now listen, this is really important, the next bit, you know, and you try to, like, you're teaching. You're not a newsreader, you're teaching them. So I think that's really important to remember. The facial expression is really, really key.
Well, some things that become a problem for those mathematics teachers because they are think mathematically, so they just think like they point. So I asked too many mathematics teachers in Indonesia, when they try to explain their point with their PowerPoint, they tend to explain it by reading the PowerPoint, not by saying it or by make it like a conversation, like a conversations. So when I asked them why, they mostly said that because we think like that. we think that they're not have an habituations. They don't have any habituations on how to transfer the knowledge by using conversation or long words, because they think it like point per point. So that's still a homework, but I think people can learn that.
Well, the how-to points is one part of those steps. The first part was why, which you can't do in points. So the second part, yes, in steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. But remember, we were saying that you have to do the why first. And if you're doing the why, it's explaining, it's reasoning, it's drawing the student in. This is why we're doing this. Number 2 video would be how to do it. So that'd be step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So that is different. You could do it like that, where video, the next one is about pitfalls. And that again is explaining, and you can have the conversation. And the last one being the extra material, again, it's explaining. When you're doing online especially, it's about relationships. It's about being human. And the students want to understand, so they want to, you know, there's more to it than just repeating things and being instructional. You have to establish relationship as well. You have to be you.
Yeah. Oke, teman-teman. Jadi kalau misalnya kalian membuat sebuah video yang terakhir, kan ini sangat menarik ya. Authentic presence itu yang kemarin saya tanyakan ke Dr. Sarah. Perlu nggak kita memunculkan diri kita dalam video pembelajaran tersebut? Well, it is important to us to show up in our video because our expression is important. Because our expression is important, they know that we laugh. They know we have like angry or something. We make a joke and so on. Jadi dari ekspresi itu seolah-olah kita engage mereka untuk berkomunikasi dengan kita, gitu. Jadi ketika kita membuat sebuah video, pastikan kita presence di situ, kita ada di situ. Jadi selain kita build trust, kita juga di situ ada membuat lebih believable atau lebih percaya gitu ya. Dan habis itu ketika kalian, contohnya kayak gini, kalau misalnya kalian nonton videonya anak-anak, itu biasanya kan ada orangnya tuh. Nah, ayo ke sini, ayo ke situ gitu. Ya, jadinya lebih engagement dan lebih willingness to follow gitu. Jadi ketika dia punya willingness to follow. Gitu, teman-teman. Please, sir.
I've just put in the chat, when we're instructing students, as you said, mathematics is quite instructional. You can still use the conversation by saying, remember, students, do this, you know, so you're changing your tone and you're trying to bring the student in with you, doing things like, wait, the next bit's really important. Okay. And then do it. So you're trying to build the relationship and you're trying to bring the student in. Your eyes open, your smile happens. Those things really matter when you're designing for online.
Jadi itu dia. Jadi intinya ketika kalian menjelaskan materi matematika, contohnya langkah-langkah penyelesaian kalkulus misalnya, soal kalkulus gitu kan. Itu kan langkah pertama mungkin agak sedikit enak. Langkah kedua mungkin agak sedikit pusing. Ketiga rajanya pusing. Keempat lebih pusing. Nah, tapi itu kalian bisa menjelaskan dengan menjelaskan ini loh yang keempat tuh kalian mesti perhatikan betul-betul gitu. Misalnya bahasanya kayak gitulah kira-kira. Mungkin yang perbedaan kita dengan orang luar negeri adalah itu agak sedikit stereotyping ya. Mungkin saya agak sedikit stereotyping, tapi beberapa kali saya bertemu dengan teman-teman dari luar negeri, itu mereka sangat ekspresif ketika berkomunikasi. Mereka sangat ekspresif, facial ekspresi muka mereka juga sangat nampak gitu. Nah, kita bisa pelajari itu gitu. Walaupun mungkin sebagian dari kita juga banyak yang ekspresif, cuman beda ekspresifnya gitu. jadi kayak gitu teman-teman. Jadi kalau bisa kita nanti lebih ekspresif ketika membuat video. Oke, please, Dr. Sarah.
Okay, I have 5 more minutes of the video left.
Okay.
We'll do the last guideline and then we'll have 5 minutes of questions.
Okay.
And take a few notes and write down any ideas that have come to you while you've been watching that section. Okay, thank you for sticking with me. We are nearly at the end. Our final guideline, number 4, is writing an honest description of your video. I know it sounds really simple, but it's actually one of the most important things, and teachers forget to do it. And you know what? That lack of description, it's one of the biggest reasons students don't watch your video. You must write a description of the video if you want students to click on it. So the first thing you need is an informative title that's relevant and true. So even if you do number your videos, so maybe 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, add some words in there, a phrase that reflects what this is. So video 1.4, assessment help. So the other thing in your video description, and I said this before, you have to make the duration clear. Students are reluctant to click on a video where the time needed, the investment needed to watch it isn't obvious. In your description, write exactly who this video is for. Is it for every student or only students who are struggling? And you'll write exactly how this video is relevant to students from their perspective, how it's relevant to them in their learning. You have to think about this from their perspective, and your description has to appeal to their self-interest about how this will help them. And finally, when should they watch it? Is this video something they should watch on Monday before they come to class? Or do they only have to watch this video in 3 weeks from now when they start work on the assignment? Tell them when this video is relevant. The more honest your description is, the more likely students will engage with the resource. This is really important and something a lot of educators overlook. So there you have it, 4 guidelines for teacher-made videos that students will actually watch and benefit from. You now know how important duration is for video content. Students are more likely to play a short video than a long one. They don't trust that a 40-minute video can be engaging. They'll assume it's bad and they won't click on it. Also, shorter videos are easier to digest, easier to revisit, and better from a file size point of view, and easier for you, the educator. So make sure you keep those videos short. Now, sometimes you will make a long video, sometimes it's unavoidable, but if you can keep it short, students will be happier. You've learned the importance of using a planning tool to chunk your key points and content. Always start with why this thing needs to be said, why am I making this video, and then flesh out the detail. Only decide how many videos this content will be developed into once you've planned your content message, and then start on your PowerPoint slides. And don't forget those action prompts. What specifically should they do with this information? When and how should they apply it or practice it or talk about it? And you now know the importance of having an authentic presence within your videos. Even if you never make a content or instructional video, you should make videos that motivate, that encourage, that nurture students. Let your authentic presence and your natural teaching energy come through, and be conversational, not a newsreader. And finally, write an honest description about each video. How long does it go for? Who should watch it? Why should they watch it? And when should they watch it? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. You don't need high production values and fancy equipment to make great videos for your students. You just need a clear plan and those 4 guidelines. You are in wonderful hands with Dr. Sarah Prestridge. She is incredibly knowledgeable in this space, and I'm sure you're really enjoying your sessions with her. If you'd like to see a range of completely free, short 2-minute tip videos that are full of quick teaching online tips, then go to this website anytime at all. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.
She's fantastic. Really fantastic. So I hope you learned something. And she has, the one thing about Denise, she has so much energy. She's so enthusiastic and passionate about teaching online. And she has created a whole website that is free that you can go to and get extra help. They're 2-minute videos, and that's something that she has done because she's so passionate about it. So the last point that she made was the fact that you have to write about the video. You can't just put the video up. You actually have to describe the video. So the students know going into the video what the purpose of the video is about. And that really does help them because it switches their mind on.
Ya, jadi teman-teman, kalian tahu thumbnail ya? Nah, thumbnail itu biasanya digunakan untuk menampakkan video ini tentang apa dan lain sebagainya. Yang penting jangan clickbait. Nanti kalian bikinnya clickbait. Jadi kalian kalau bikin video pembelajaran itu jangan clickbait. Thumbnailnya apa, videonya apa, gitu. Jadi jangan clickbait. Nah kayak gitu. Jadi intinya adalah ketika kalian bikin video, jadi harus ada deskripsinya jelas dan jujur, dan semua informasi yang ada di dalam situ itu secara ringkas itu tentang apa gitu. Oke, Sarah.
That's it for me today. One question I do have for you all though is, what was the most important part of today's session for you? If you could just pop that in the chat channel, I'd like to know what's your big takeaway from today.
Oke teman-teman, apa yang paling important, paling penting pada pertemuan hari ini? Oke teman-teman, ada yang mau menyampaikan? Silakan. Silakan teman-teman. Adinda, siapa nih? Mai Putri, Felix, Salis, Cinta, siapa lagi? Triwulandari, Atia. Intan, you want to say something? No? Yang lain, Indah, Aji, Nurcahyo. Intan, you want to say something? No?
Can I say something?
Yuk, so please.
Okay. Am I audible? Or... Okay, so I think the most important part in this session is we have to be authentic presence. Sometimes when we learn, or maybe we get video from our lecture, they don't appear in the screen. So we felt like
Don't be that
they
honest, please. Okay, then.
sometimes we felt like they the lecture doesn't care to us, like what will we do in the while we watching their videos. Like if their presence in the video, it will encourage us to watch the video more. I think I just realized that thing in this session.
Yeah, I
Thank
agree.
you, Arina. I agree too. That's why you guys need to open up your camera right now. For tomorrow's meeting, you have to open up your camera, all the students. Okay, so I can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're sleeping, you're going to the bathroom, you're going to somewhere else. I need to know. Even your room, your background, I need to know. Okay, because me and Dr. Sarah presents in here in an online learning, so we still need to do a conversation like this. We can do a communication, though. So that's why I think your present is important. So your camera must be on. Okay, for the next meeting.
And the last question I have is, on Friday, it's my last session. What other things do you need to know? I can certainly talk about other ideas that I have in my mind, but what do you need? What else do you need to know before, because Friday is the last time we meet.
Okay, so guys, you can list all the questions from the first meeting to the last meeting. So to today's meeting. So anything that you believe is important to us, just ask it, just list it. So you can send me a text me in Bahasa Indonesia or in Indonesian language, so I can help you to translate it in English, or you can text Arina to help you. So today Arina is the lecturer's assistant to translate on. Yeah, please do Sarah.
If you get all your questions ready for Friday, then I'll answer everything.
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
that's Sarah. So so we still have okay, please go Sarah.
No, that was it. Like, is there?
Okay, so we still have 2-3 minutes, guys, if you have any questions to this meeting.
Saya ingin bertanya, Pak.
Oh, boleh Felix, boleh Felix.
I have a question, Dr. Sarah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't speak English.
It's okay.
That's fine.
Saya akan bercerita sedikit pengalaman saya. Pengalaman saya sebagai siswa, guru pernah memberikan pembelajaran interaktif siswa dengan pembuatan kelompok. Kemudian, siswa diberikan tugas membuat video pembelajaran. Dan itu tentunya ketika offline. Jika dikaitkan dengan pandemi, yaitu ketika online, apakah pembuatan video yang membuat siswa itu efektif untuk pembelajaran? Kemudian, jika efektif, pembelajaran yang seperti apa? Terima kasih.
Oke, Felix. Jadi intinya adalah pertanyaannya adalah apakah meminta siswa untuk membuat video pembelajaran selama pandemi itu efektif atau tidak gitu, Felix ya?
Iya, Pak.
Okay. So, well, he's trying to tell his story, his experience. I mean, about online learning, and the lecturer asked him to make a learning video, as he is a pre-service mathematics teacher. So that's why he has to make a learning head video. And since then, his question is, during the COVID-19, is it effective to ask the students to make a learning video during the online learning?
For the students to make a video?
The student, the student to make the video during the online learning.
Which students? The kids in the classroom or
Oh,
the
these
pre-service
students.
teachers?
These students, the pre-service teachers.
The pre-service, is it a good idea for pre-service teachers?
Yeah. Is it a
make
good
video.
idea for pre-service to make video during online learnings? So because for the school students, I think they're, let's say they don't have any capabilities to make the high quality online learning. So as these students are pre-service mathematics teachers, so I think they need to have an experience about on how to make online learning videos. But during his class, the lecturer asked them to make an online learning video about the material they've been taught to them.
I don't really know how to answer that because it's not, I don't understand the context. But any time that you make a video, you learn more about the concept that you're making, because you're trying, when you teach someone else something, you learn more about the concept itself. So the process of making a video or teaching the concept makes you understand it better. So for that in itself is beneficial.
Yeah, Felix. So in my experience, I asked my students to make their own video before they. So at the very first sessions, I give them the material, and then they can make presentations using PowerPoint, and they explain what they know about the material using video. And after that, during the class, they can validate their knowledge. So that's the idea of why the students have to make. I mean, that's the idea of why the lecturer asks you to make these videos, because you have an experience to, as let's say, self-knowledge construction. After that, the lecturer will validate your knowledge. If you make a mistake or your knowledge is wrong, so it will be beneficial for you. It will be beneficial for you because people tend to remember their mistakes, especially my wife. My wife always remember my mistake because I always make a mistake. So that's why, from that idea, I believe that when students make mistake, it will be more memorable for you. Is it correct?
I don't want to get involved with this. Well, no, like I'm being funny. But anytime you're asked to make a video about what you understand, it's part of the learning process. Putting it into video format is just one way. You can write it down as well. So it's just going through the process of learning. And capturing it in a video is just an engine to do that. So is writing it on a piece of paper. So, putting it in a PowerPoint, standing up and explaining it. There's so many different ways. So one video is just one.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sarah, for today's meeting.
Great.
So
I'm glad you got a lot out of it.
So please
Denise
make a conclusion for today.
And Denise, I'll tell her that you enjoyed her videos and that you'll apply some of her ideas about chunking and teacher presence, having teacher face, and explaining things in short videos. And I will see you on Friday.
Yeah. Okay, so
and have your questions ready.
Okay, so everyone, so silakan nanti di list pertanyaannya, jadi kita bisa bertanya ke Ibu Sarah untuk besok Jumat. Oke, jempol, thumbs up.
Thank you.
Okay, bye Dr. Sarah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Halo teman-teman. Sekarang saya akan menjadi semua kamera hidup. Rasa Duisin, biasa we. Ya, Atia, Novelia, Ajinur, Oriza, Arista, semua kamera hidup. Nah, kan ketok wedoan lagi ngopo. Ngono loh. Jadi besok saya minta semua kamera on. Oke, kamera on. Pertama, itu seperti kita respect ke siapapun yang bicara. Sama seperti nanti ketika kalian jadi guru sedang pembelajaran online, kalian juga pasti pengen melihat siswa kalian. Apalagi kita sudah setahun tidak bertemu dong. Jadi saya pengen ketemu kalian seperti apa, dan kalian seperti apa. Makanya saya minta kameranya on ketika pembelajaran. Karena pertama, itu adalah seperti yang tadi dijelaskan oleh Dennis, yaitu sebagai bentuk expression. Gitu, sebagai bentuk ekspresi. Jadi saya bisa lihat ekspresi kalian tuh yang lagi bingung, lagi pusing, lagi nggak mudeng dosen yang jelasin apa tuh jadi kelihatan gitu. Gitu. Yang kedua, kemarin kan beberapa sudah mengirimkan pertanyaannya lewat Atia ya, dan baru kejawab satu nih. Nah, besok teman-teman silahkan kalian membuat pertanyaan. Ya setidaknya Atia, saya nitip setidaknya ada 10 pertanyaan. 10 pertanyaan dari teman-teman yang digarap bersama. Oke, 10 pertanyaan silahkan. Jadi satu kelasnya ada 10 atau 15 pertanyaan, nah, silahkan. Nanti kita akan pilih satu-satu. Nanti, jadi besok itu kita cuma hanya berjalan selama 30 menit hari Jumat itu. Kita hanya 30 menit saja dengan Dr. Sarah, because that's the contract ya. Hanya 30 menit saja, jadi besok saya minta kalian membuat itu sebagai kesempatan yang baik. Oke, menurut Atia tadi habis ini mau ada kuliah lagi Atia ya?
Iya, Pak.
Oke, dosennya siapa?
Pak Puji.
Oke, siap. Oke, teman-teman, sampai ketemu besok Jumat, jaga kesehatan, banyak minum vitamin C, dan salam buat Bapak Ibu di rumah. Oke, dadah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Pak.